I'm good here by the light of the evening, inside, of course, not outdoors, because up here in New York, it is cold. It's brisk. Not, it's beyond brisk outside. It really is that fucking cold outside. To be specific, I'm in Buffalo, New York. I'm from Queens, downstate New York, born and raised, but goddamn, I moved up here over the summer and apparently, according to the locals, I should be expecting worse than what we got right now, which is like, last I checked was like, I think 20 something degrees or close to 30, but with the wind chill out there, it's chop off like 25 degrees. And you got the actual feel, the feels like temperature instead of the actual factual temperature. I'm Who This at Who This Is One here live on YouTube, doing these little vertical YouTube lives right now. And we're going to be talking about some things. Of course, this is the first edition of Yap Break Radio. I wish I had a little sound effects box or the usual equipment I got with me when I do the podcast, but that's all right. Just here taking a quick break. We're here to yap on said break. Just about whatever comes up, really. However, though, there is one thing I need to discuss right now, and actually, let me see if I could pin it in the comments. Where is the comment thing here? Hold on. Oh shit, I forgot to. Can I add a comment here? Oh, let me see if I could do this. Okay, since the topic of the night is going to be this, I need to see if anybody out there can relate to me on that level. Hopefully so, because it was the first time for me ever. I mean, if anything, first world problems to be honest, I guess, but also first time oddly enough for me. Did Uber ever do you dirty and or suck? How? There we go. I don't know how Q&As work. How's this work? Something went wrong, please try again. Okay, so I guess no Q&A. Fuck that. I'm trying to pin a comment here. Forgive me, of course, this is my first time doing a goddamn thing here. How do I post a comment on my own shit? Oh, wait a minute, I know. Let's see. First edition, I'm still learning my way around these parts. Forgive me for that. Let me just pin a fucking comment. I guess I'll speak the comment now if anything, so you know. The comment, or at least the pinned comment I'm going to try to pin right now, is basically, did Uber ever do you dirty? Hopefully it's in the title, you can see that too. But I'm about to share my first time ever that I had a bad experience with Uber. Not a horrible experience, not like I got abducted. I just had to break free from my abductors, my kidnappers, and I'm here to report live and shit and let people know I'm alive, but more like inconvenience. You know what I'm saying? It just happens. It's unfortunate. First world problems, I'm aware, but I'm sure just like you out there, if not Uber, I don't know, Lyft, or there's some other variants of like the same thing that happens wherever you live, depending on. But if you've had that, please feel free to let me know in the comments. And hello to everybody who just came in right now. Hello to Strawberry without the W dash underscore gaming, excuse me. Hello, hi. Hi to Kim underscore Soriano. A lot of times, hi, see, okay, smiley face sideways. Wait, can you shout me out? Yeah, I just did, but I'll do it again to Strawberry underscore gaming without the W in the straw. Strawberry. Should I say strawberry, or is there some sort of way you want me to say that since you dropped a W from your name, Strawberry underscore gaming? Or should I just say Strawberry Gaming? I'm fine however you want me to phrase it. Please let me know. Please feel free. I take all requests as need be. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Did Uber ever suck for you? And or how? All right, so I'm going to comment on the thing here. Let me see if I could pin it on this thing. There we go. All right, good. Did Uber ever suck for you and or how? So tonight for me it sucked. First time ever. Um, so first let me clarify. I don't do Uber like that. I'm more of a Lyft guy. Uh, I don't know why I have that preference or I got into that habit, but I used Lyft, and I did use Lyft up until like a couple of months ago or so, like by default. Uber only became a thing for me to use. And again, I know this is first world problems, I get it, but like because I live where I live now and mass transit is like heavily reduced in comparison to when I was back in Queens. You know, a bus, if you miss, it's basically up here in Buffalo. You miss a bus, you're waiting an hour, perhaps, maybe during rush hour, maybe like 35, 40 minutes if you're lucky for the next bus to come along on the same route. So it's not like really heavy traffic out there as far as like the people that need to use public transportation because a lot of people got cars, which I don't right now, obviously. That's why I'm using buses and or the one train they got up here, which really has like a set route. And it's like, for the most part, I think 90% of it goes literally in a straight line. So I miss out on if I gotta go outside the main fucking path that that train goes, then I gotta take a bus that goes. This one goes out that way, but all the way that way. Then this one goes out there, all the way out there, just kind of straight paths, like straight shots. Um, I will be getting a car hopefully like in the springtime, closer to probably the summer more realistically. Anywho's, I'm forced to use Uber. Oh, so what's up? Sorry, let me ask something. How much subscribers do you have? Right now, I think somewhere in the 900s. I'm like 100 or so shy of 1,000. So that's if that matters at all. Strawberry Gaming. I guess thank you for asking. I guess you could spread the word. Wink, wink. Please, let's get those subscribers up. I'm just trying to see if I can do it. Probably not by the end of the year. It's already Christmas next week. We're sniffing at Christmas, sniffing at Santa's sack, better get said. But let's see. Who knows? Miracles happen. But then again, my hair never grew back, so maybe the miracles are selective depending on how much you ask and how realistic the request is, per se, depending on what you believe in. So back to what I was saying, right? Let me see. Oh, you're right. So Uber, right? Uber. Okay, so normally a Lyft guy, LYFT, but I went with Uber. Started to go with Uber as of like a couple of months ago because I don't know if they applied like a little promo code to me every time I use it. So like 5% off, 10% off. So it does make a difference because Lyft will be like $10 more for the same route I take with Uber, and Uber will be $10 less. So of course, makes it pretty obvious. I'm going to go with them. Chris Q5V6I. Are you in TN, brother? I'm assuming TN is Tennessee. No, not in Tennessee. Never been. Hope to be there someday soon, maybe next year. But no, I'm in New York. So Uber became my thing. The promo helps a lot, and makes sense because for me, even walking distance, uh, I'm playing that up to be something that's like it's nowhere near like what it was down in Queens, New York. So basically, like, you know, I could walk everywhere, get to everywhere I need to, like in 10 minutes or something like that. Comparison here, the nearest supermarket, for me at least, it's like by now, I walk pretty quick thanks to, you know, being in New York mostly all my life. It's down to like 35-minute walk, which ain't too bad. I can't complain about that. And a lot of other stuff too, like nice little decent shopping mall, the place I frequent the most, which probably ain't too good for my pounds, for my weight, better yet said, is Pizza Hut and the little strip mall they got there, which is, what is it, Marshall's, Pizza Hut, Dollar General, or Dollar Tree, one of those, I can't remember which one. And then there was a meat shop, but they closed down. And then there was a liquor store, and they closed down randomly, unannounced. So they just shut their doors one day. Strawberry Gaming. Merry Christmas. Bye. See you tomorrow. If you're live, might be late though. Okay. Oh yeah, sure, definitely. I appreciate you for chiming in, for subbing if you did. I didn't take notice to see if that popped up in the notifications. Again, welcome to the first, I guess, edition, you could say, of Yap Break Radio. Appreciate it. Thank you again, Strawberry Gaming, for that. Let me see if I'm on live tomorrow night or maybe most likely Sunday night. I might be on probably a little earlier than this, but yeah, I'll get to why I'm on so late in comparison to why I could have been on earlier, if anything. But yeah, appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you too. Happy holidays to all in the chat, chiming in right now and or catching up later on, of course. Where was I? Oh yeah, right. So basically the point is I have no choice but to use Uber, especially now because it gets cold. I can tolerate the cold up to a certain extent and or a certain drop in degrees, thanks to, being so used to bundling up and all the layers I used to have to throw on me in Queens. Buffalo's a different story because we're only halfway through December and it's only gotten cold enough where I'm like, oh, this is doable. This isn't too bad. I can still walk outside as long as it's not too windy or too what's the word? Not snowing. The sleet, little sleet goes on. It's tolerable otherwise. But I have yet to see, obviously, what it's like up here in January and or February, which I'm kind of not looking forward to. But again, I got no choice. I live up here now. So the Uber is a thing I have to do often sometimes just so I can get back in time. I cook, I clean, and I work from home. And I also have to, I hate to say it this way, but it's kind of true, cater to my fiance. Not that I'm a cuck, not that I'm whipped. I'm just saying, like, I love this girl so much. She's the reason I moved up here, because she moved up here first to go to school, to finish up a graduate program. So to be a supportive, better half, she's the better looking half. I'm just a better half as far as like, pay the bills, do the cooking, do the cleaning, all that shit. Ideally, hopefully in the future, a good husband since we are engaged. I moved up here for her. So if anything, I gotta tolerate and put up with the cold for her. But then again, she's Russian, so she's born and raised over there. She's used to the cold. She's used to the snow, the cold, the wind blowing, howling, all that shit, right? That's right up her alley. Uber becomes a thing now again because it gets cold, it gets snowy like that. It's probably going to get worse now in January and or February, maybe even March too, as far as she's told me, because even she's like, well, I come from where there's like snow and cold and shit, but goddamn, it's like, I didn't expect that from here of all places, from this side of the hemisphere, right? Point being, today, first time for me, is the first time I ever have a bad experience like that with either Lyft and or Uber. Let me reel that back as far as bad. Because it was bad, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't like, as soon as I sat down in the back seat, the driver saw I was Spanish. The driver saw I was bald. The driver saw I got the default resting bitch face thanks to my bushy ass eyebrows, right? And he spit in my face. Boy, he whipped his dick out and pissed in my face or something like that, right? Nothing horrible like that. That would be bad. That would be criminal too, but that'd be bad, right? So let me walk it back. Not bad, but just like inconvenient. Again, something I never expected to deal with myself, but it happened. It unraveled before me. And the worst part is, it's not like I even got to sit down and had the bad experience. I didn't even get in the fucking car and had the bad experience. That's where it started from. Let me see right here. Hello back to Alex _ the Wolf H5Y. Yeah. Hello. And hello to anyone still in here. Watching, whatever. Watching back now, live and or after the fact too. So basically what happens is I get done shopping. I don't do the full-on shopping I do every week, but I'm doing the shopping I need for at least the next couple of nights because it's supposed to be cold and windy again. Do that. Save myself the trouble having to do all the grocery shopping on the day where, the weather's going to be really bad. I'm on my way back from the DMV. I'm making the rounds. I'm coming back home. I still got to make time to cook. So I go to the supermarket, get my shit, get whatever I need for tonight and for tomorrow and or later today. Pretty much it's already fucking Saturday right here in New York at least. I get the Uber. Oh, wait a second. OMG, I just ran into your live stream again. Nice. All right, see, you faked me out. You lied about that good night. You just wanted to go over to see who else was on live. How dare you, Strawberry_Gaming. I see your tactics now. You're a liar. I'm kidding. It's all right. It's okay. Stay if you need to. Stay if you want to. It's all right. But otherwise, you can watch it back afterwards. Or again, I should be on live Sunday night. A little earlier than right now, anyways. Hello again, Alex _ the Wolf -H5Y. So, because I need to get home at a certain time, not I need to, I just want to. I don't want to be out super late. It gets cold, it gets windy. It's Buffalo, right? So, I ordered the Uber. I do one of these. I'm one of those, Betty had said. I do the wait and save. Obviously, you save a little bit of money. $2, $3 at most too, but also at the expense of you gotta wait sometimes a couple minutes, more than expected, right? I can live. It's fine by me. I don't give a shit. I will live. I am a grown-ass man, right? I do the wait and save today. It's not too bad. Sometimes I've had to wait like 15 minutes during peak rush hour. No problem. I chose the option to wait and save. I'm fine with that. I'll live. Sometimes I've waited like less than I would have waited for a regular, Uber without the wait and save option. 2 minutes, 3 minutes is right fucking there, right? Normally with the supermarket, fraction of the time than what they usually forecast. So if they say 10 minutes, it's usually there like in 2, 3. This time, I get it, and it says, okay, reasonable amount of time, wait and save. 7 minutes while we try to find you a driver. No problem. I'm patient. I'm sitting. I got my groceries. I'm just looking at the phone, whatever. I'm bullshitting. Okay. Coming. It's close. It's there at some point. The walking distance from where I'm sitting on the bench in the supermarket to where the car comes, it's maybe, no lie, maybe 30 seconds. I walk out the door. It's right there. I go out. The car's right there. I look at the phone. Check the app. Last 4 of the license plate, I look at the car, same model, check. Same last 4 of the plate, check. Driver, I can't see because he's got tinted windows. I'm not going to judge on that. It don't matter to me, but okay, checks out. I'm walking to the vehicle. Again, not even 30 seconds to leave the store to get outside to where it's at, right? Maybe add on another 10 seconds to get to the vehicle, okay? I get to the vehicle. No lie, swear to God, hand to God is my witness, right? I'm reaching out to the vehicle to grab the handle to pull open the door to get into the back seat, right? Like how my hands are, right? My fingers are towards the camera right now, if you can see. That close. The camera is like the door handle, like this close, you see, right? I'm sorry for the disturbing image of my wrinkled middle finger. This close to reaching out to the door handle to pull it open for me, to let me inside in the back, where I belong as a passenger, right? Pulls off. Not even fast, slow. At a slow enough pace where if I wanted to, I could probably run alongside it, open, and get in. I'm not gonna do that. This ain't Die Hard. This ain't Rush Hour. Nothing. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm baffled. Because, au natural, I'm moving along with the car, trying to walk in and trying to reach the thing. Like, why is it moving away from me? I thought maybe I was drunk or something, but it ain't that time of the weekend yet, right? It's moving from me. It's moving away. Then it's picking up speed, moving away from me. And I look into the back seat and there's someone in the back seat that's not me. I'm one of those. I think you have to do it now in Uber anyway, but well, whatever. I have my profile pic. So you see this? There's no hair, right? It's me, eyebrows, eyes bugging out my head sometimes. That's my profile pic. Okay, granted, it's cold outside. I have like a beanie on. But I'm out there. You can see my face, at least. You can recognize me from the profile pic. He sees the profile pic. He looks at me. Okay, it must be him. It checks out, whatever, right? The eyebrows are a match. There's a person in the back seat. It's a woman. She's there. As I'm reaching for the door, that turns into me like waving the fucking car down, like not desperate, like I'm dying here, like I'm out in sea waving my arms from the water, but like trying to make like some sort of contact with the driver from the back. And she's just looking at me like stunned face. She can't do nothing about it. I don't expect her to do nothing about it, but maybe at least out of courtesy, or maybe because she was too stuck on being stupid, she could tap the driver and be like, sir, I think you picked me up by mistake, even though I should know better than to get into the wrong Uber and or Lyft. I'm sure it happens often, but still, nothing. She's locking eyes with me from the back seat again. Where do I live? I live in New York. I'm in Buffalo. The car is driving away from me. And it's the first time in a while I'm just standing there stunned, like, there's no way you can misidentify a whole woman who has to be smaller than me. Because she was like, I could barely see her from the back, but I saw her in the back seat where I was supposed to be. Confuse her for me. I'm not that cute either, but I digress. I call the driver once he's like almost out of my field of vision. I call him, and let me not be racist because it's YouTube, right? They will ding you for that, or one of you will snitch and say something. So I'll be respectful, but a foreign name, which I thought, should be able to understand me if they drive Uber, hopefully, but maybe that's assuming too much. I call the driver on the app, and I say, hey, are you the Uber for me? George, right? I don't know what he said. I couldn't make out what he said at all. Hey, you were supposed to pick me up right now. You were scheduled for this. Your license plate is that. I'm right here at the location. Sorry. All my friends, sorry. Something else was, all I could make out was sorry, my friend. That's it. And then the call dropped. I have to stand there. I have to wait. And the thing with Uber is, in the app at least, I could swear with Lyft it was easier. I can't remember offhand. But with Uber, they only give you a select amount of reasons or specific reasons to like cancel the ride for whatever the reasons may be. They don't have one for my driver took off right in front of my face without me in the vehicle. So he's moving in the app as if I'm in the vehicle, and I'm presuming that I paid technically for the ride in advance. The only thing that happens at the end of the ride is that I'm paying on top of that a tip, which I always do. I believe strongly in the tip philosophy because, well, that's just what it is. So that's how these people make their livings, right? And I've talked to plenty of Uber drivers, Lyft drivers as well, which a lot of them have been awesome. A lot of them have been really good, chatty. A little too chatty sometimes, but you can forgive it, or a little too enthusiastic. I had one dickhead one time, however long ago it was. Me and my fiance, right? We get in. This is a previous, like maybe like a year ago or so, because I remember it was like so annoying. We get in, and the second we get in, whatever fucking accent they had going on, all we can make out, literally all I can make out from him was, 5 stars, please, 5 star, something like that, right? I don't do the 5 stars because you're fucking insisting on it as soon as I sit my ass down in the fucking backseat of your vehicle. Mind you, you have to do this. Maybe earn your 5 stars before you start harassing me for it. This second I plant one ass cheek down to the backseat of your vehicle, which you have to use to make a living, I understand. I would have given, by default, I give 5 stars. Even if they're quiet, they don't say much beyond hi or like to acknowledge me, whatever. I know you got to do this for a living. You got to work for a certain amount of time, certain amount of rides and shit, whatever. I get it. I totally get it. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to do anything again. But it's like, God damn it, that's harassment. I exaggerate, of course, but it's harassing to be like, as soon as you sit your ass down to the seat, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, barely speaks language, 5 star, 5 star, but that's as much English as you learned, right? That's a whole nother ride, though. That was a past one. He did not get 5 stars, by the way, so fuck him. Back to this ride. So I call, he drops the call. I'm in the app, and the app looks like I'm in the vehicle, but I'm not. So it's like, what the fuck did I just pay for? And on top of that, too, I can't cancel for the specific reason of what happened, as in this guy faked a ride that I'm not in, because I think the same thing with Lyft. If you cancel an Uber, depending on the reason, they will or they won't charge you a cancellation fee. So I think the entire cost of the trip, because you made the driver, have to go all the way out there to meet you where you were supposed to take the ride from and shit and waste their time otherwise. And I think maybe one or two reasons might be actually where they can cancel it, you don't get hit with the fee, and still get another ride instead to replace it. But also, the system is up to date enough where if one driver's too far away, the system will realize it, then like cancel them out and get you another one that's close, or work around to fix it, right? So at least that. When are you? Oh, when am I live again? I hope I didn't die halfway through the stream for you. Live again. I should be live again on Sunday night, Eastern Standard, like should say like 9, 10 o'clock, something like that, give or take. Laundry time, so I'll two birds, one stone. I'll wash the colors, wash the clothes, dry it, and go live. That's definitely doable. So with the trip in question that happened earlier today, I don't know how to cancel. So I'm like at the point where I'm gonna cancel, but then I'm gonna have to take the hit on the fee. It's fine because this motherfucker disappeared on me in my face, where he could have like rolled the window down. My friend, I have to come back, or give me 2, 3 minutes. I'm taking this bitch hostage real quick and I'll be right back for you. 5 minutes. Don't tip me, don't worry about it. I'll be right back. Something. Again, he drives off. Somebody's already in the back seat. I don't know who, but I'm left to stand there, not in the cold because I'm not that stupid either. I'm not going to be so stunned and astonished at what happened or appalled and offended where I'm just going to stand there the whole time freezing, turn into an ice block because I was so offended and deeply hurt by it. No, I go right back inside. I sit on the bench as I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I cancel in the app so I don't get hit with a fee and I can get another ride instead, or just do a Lyft instead? And I'll just complain to Uber later to get a refund and demand it otherwise, right? When did this happen? Oh, this happened earlier today, so like around 7 o'clock, something like that. Yeah, 7 o'clock-ish, give or take, because I got back home like in the same ride, mind you, but I'll get to that point. Yeah, I got back home like 7:20, so it's like 7 o'clock all that happened. Because I don't live too far from the fucking store, so it wasn't a long trip, just it was really windy, like that like razor blade fresh out the pack to your face, kind of cutting cold. So I'd have to walk at least 40 minutes in that shit. And it was really windy, piercing wind, with a little bit of sleet. And my wife is one of those that panics a lot. Like, if I'm not home by the time I said I'd be home, 1 minute after, she's already texting me. She doesn't call me anymore because I had to bark at her a couple times to not call me like I'm some fucking child. But the texts come in with the worried emojis, with the overusage of question marks. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Da da da, whatever. So that's why I try to rush as best I can, or try to keep to the times as best I can for her, just to put her at ease. She's one of those that worries very easily. So as I'm trying to figure out how to cancel the ride, wait, when did this happen? I wasn't here. Oh yeah, again, this was earlier tonight, 7 o'clock. So yesterday, Friday, 7 o'clock. As I'm trying to figure out how to cancel the ride again to get hit with no fee, hopefully, he texts me. And I can see the update on the map saying that, oh, he's coming back. He's looping back around towards me. And he texts me via the app. Hi. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt in my mind. Let's see what he does, or he does to go beyond hi. Waiting. Hi again. But at least I can see the map updating to show he's coming back my way now. He only went like, now I'd be lying if I said like a quarter of a mile the opposite direction, like less than that. But then eventually he came back. Point is, I had to wait another 7 minutes on top of that for him to come back in total. So I'm curious. I'm like, Do I cancel a ride now at this point, or do I wait for him to come back and pick me up still? But in my mind, I'm prepped. Maybe 2 to 3 stars if I feel like it, and or absolutely no tip. Because what the fuck was that, right? I decided to play it out and let him come back. He does, surprisingly. Again, I had to wait, I counted, I made sure. 7 minutes on top of the time I had to wait prior to that, which was, again, 7, 8. Again, the whole point isn't about I had to wait so long, I'm such a little diva, I'm such a little princess, whatever. No. It's more so that I paid for wait and save. I know I may have to wait maybe a fraction of the time if I'm lucky, or I might have to wait 10 minutes, 13 minutes, as has happened before, to get someone finally on my route because I chose to be cheap according to Uber, which I acknowledge, decided to wait and save for it for the sake of saving some money. I don't mind it. It's no problem to me. But tell me something came up, or you can't finalize the trip before me in time as you were scheduled to do with me. Fine. I'm human. I gotta work for a living too. I understand sometimes some things get in the way. You can't come through in your deadline, even though you probably should as best you can, but still, I understand that. Things will come up, things will go awry, as they say, but no communication. No communication. Also, the little bit of communicating he did try doing with me was like horrible and really incomprehensible. Again, beyond the accent, I don't know if this guy could really speak clear to begin with, but whatever. He comes back. As soon as I open the door to the back seat to get in, where I should have been in the first fucking place. Sorry, my friend. Sorry. Something about a drop off. Sorry, something. I don't give a shit. I don't make any sort of communication with that man. I just sit in the back. I put my seatbelt on, as you always should. Seatbelt on, front or back, seatbelt on, please. And the ride is no longer than I know by now. 8 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. I stay silent the whole time. I think he knows better. I think he knows about my temper, or he can tell by my fucking bushy ass eyebrows. I'm not trying to talk. And I don't say nothing at all whatsoever. Next thing you know, I'm back home, head down on the phone the whole time during the trip. I don't know what goes on with Google Maps or the map system they got in the app for Uber. I think the same thing for Lyft. Where I live, usually they end up taking 99% of the time the route, which ends up with the car being across the street from where I live, in the buildings where I live. If the driver is incentivized enough to do so, they will take a U-turn without me having to tell them nothing. I'm this kind of person too. I'm courteous enough, and I'm not trying to be all like, make me out to be a saint. I'm Mother Teresa, lifted the veil. Oh shit, she's bald, kind of thing, right? It was a wig the whole time. Fraud. But I'm courteous enough to be like, you don't want to take the U-turn, or it doesn't click in your brain to do a U-turn, do me a solid in exchange for a tip, which I always do tip. And I hope it would say in my ratings as a customer, customer always tips the max amount, especially if they do above and beyond, or they hold a nice conversation, or they do me a little solid, like they make a U-turn without me telling them to, or they take the initiative and do so. I give them the tip and more than that, as they rightfully deserve. He wants to be nice enough to offer me to do a U-turn. I don't let him, because I'm not steaming mad, piping hot mad, nothing, but I'm like, I want the trip to be over. I had to wait unnecessarily at the expense of not being told why I was made to wait and why you drove off right in front of my face without telling me a thing, without any sort of acknowledgement, and worse, unable to communicate why you did what you did, which wasn't horrible, which wasn't a hate crime. Nothing like that either. I'm not gonna exaggerate or dramatize or be a woman about it. No offense to women out there. And be like, oh, well, this man emotionally damaged me for the rest of my fucking week. I need a whole weekend to recoup, and then next week, Monday is a Monday. I gotta work anyways, half the week for Christmas, so that's harassing enough. No, it's nothing like that, but still, If something comes up, if you can't complete the trip before me enough to get me started on my trip, and then the app is marking me down as like I'm in the car but I'm not, then what the fuck happened? At least tell me something. In your broken English, in your heavy accent, something. Tell me something. And I won't get offended. If he would have said, give me 5 minutes, I'll reset the trip when I get back. I'm really sorry. And then he says, oh, don't worry about the tip. It's on me. I fucked up, whatever. I understand. And I'll still probably give him the tip anyway, just because at least, I'm human. I understand things happen, whatever. He offers to make the U-turn. I tell him that's the only time I communicate with him at all. I just say, don't bother. I'll get out here. He's like, no, bye, make U-turn. Da, 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 da. And like, nope, I'm good out here as I'm already got one leg out the door, about to step out. I leave, across the street. He waits, I'm guessing, to see what I do in the app. I don't give him that pleasure because I'm always courteous enough to do that too. As soon as I get out the vehicle, hot, cold, in between, whatever, I go right to the app and I tip. I do the 5 stars and I tip. And I do the little option to comment, clean driver, friendly, da-da-da-da, whatever, right? Takes no time for me to do, right? It's not too much, it's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds of my day. Okay, great. I don't give him the pleasure of doing that, though, because I'm nice enough to do that with everybody else, but not with him. I wait to go inside. I get comfortable inside. Do I live far? No, I don't live far. No, it was like, again, like walking distance from the store back home, or either way, to or from. It's like a 35-minute walk. It's nothing bad for me, but again, like the wind specifically tonight chose to be cunty. And again, the wind is like piercing, cutting cold. It's like howling at some points too. I would have tolerated, I would have walked home or taken a bus if it was there. But again, my fiance starts with the text about she's worried about where I am. So I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have that agita. So that's why. So I don't give this guy the pleasure of going right into the app and immediately giving him the minimum amount of stars. I was debating that in my head, like, what's gonna do him worse? The less amount of stars possible or no tip and give him 5 stars anyway. But I'm debating inside because it's like, I don't want to give him nothing. I really shouldn't, because why? Again, even if there's such a thing as a language barrier in this case, which I could forgive and forget, at least make the effort to say it to me. Something. Text me something. BRB at least. Something came up. I don't know, whatever. Call me and say that. Roll down the window as you're there waiting for me. It's me in the profile pic, not some random fucking bitch in the back. It's me. You could recognize me by at least these things, even if I got a beanie on. And say, my friend, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I'd be right back, whatever the fuck happened. Okay, I'll fucking wait. I'm that kind of maybe schmuck, or by that default, that nice, where I'll be like, you're human, I'm human too. No sweat off my back. I'll go right back inside and wait for you for 5 minutes. Just don't start the trip without me, or make it count like that, right? I got no problem with that. But nothing. No communication, random person in the back where I'm supposed to be, pulls off in front of me where I don't know if, the car's now, his was a fairly new car. I would think at least with the cameras, I could kind of maybe see who's around, who's trying to like reach at your fucking car at some given point in time, right? I don't know. But bitch in the back makes no effort to point out or tap him like, hey, there's somebody here that's supposed to be here. That's not me, but nothing whatsoever. So as I debate internally, mentally, to be like, low rating and no tip, or do I just give them the low rating and a tip, or maybe the tip and the lowest rating possible? Then finally, after taking a shit, after putting everything away grocery-wise, wasn't a lot, just, I had to make the trip anyway. My girl's obsessed with bananas. Says a lot about her, I guess, right? But I know better than to come home empty-handed, or at least no bananas, right? Feed her, she's a good girl, poor thing, she studies all day pretty much to get this graduate program over and done with, like, I think in the next 2 years or something like that. She's going for pharmacy, so it's a lot to cram in the mind. It's a lot to study for. She's practically a bookworm. She's making out with the books. She's like, got in the face all day so much, right? take a shit, I put the groceries away, I take a shower, I change, I get comfy. I'm prepping for hopefully the watching time as I did right now. Finally got caught up with it. The Logan Paul, Logan Paul, the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight on Netflix. Only, only before going live now, that I finally come to a standstill internally and mentally in my own mind, right? To be like, you know what? Let's give him 2 stars. I forget if that's the lowest, if you can do 1 star. 1 star would be kind of like OD, like he committed a hate crime and did all this on top of that. You know, made a derogatory term towards me and did all that, right? He didn't do all that. I decided to go with 3 stars, but no tip whatsoever. And you know what? The trip cost nothing. Honest to God, it cost almost nothing. It was what was it like? Oh, I thought I saw something. No. Happy Merry Christmas. Yeah, Happy Merry Christmas. Choose one or the other. I mean, then again, free country, you can say Happy Merry Christmas or Merry Happy Christmas. I started saying Happy Christmas as of late, thanks to I don't know if it's before your time or not, or show how old I am, but Rocco's Modern Life. I love that. That's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. Rocco is like still hilarious to me. Got away with a lot of adult jokes, you know, snuck in there in between the lines, but he was the one that would say in his little wallaby Australian cute ass voice, Happy Christmas. And it just kind of stuck with me as a kid because like I never heard that up until Rocco's Modern Life. And I did use that for a while until my mom started crying because I would say Happy Christmas instead. But I don't know. It's weird. My mom was very fucking weird too. Like a pushover, and she'd get very emotional over the stupidest things, like me saying Happy Christmas instead of Merry Christmas. You're teaching me bad English. I'm not supposed to say Happy Christmas. I embarrassed myself in front of my boss today because I said Happy Christmas instead of Merry Christmas. They made me feel like a fucking immigrant. Whatever. It's like, that's your fault. I'm being fucking ironic and cute saying Happy Christmas as a kid after watching a cartoon. You're supposed to be adult enough to know at least enough English to be like Merry Christmas, not Happy Christmas. Then you could say, oh, I got it from my kid. No, of course, she wouldn't rap me out like that. But exchange, she would fucking smack me like she did for fucking making to say that and cry to me like I did the wrong thing, right? Moms are weird, especially Spanish mothers. They're the fucking worst most times. But, oh yeah, so I decided on just 3 stars and then no tip. And I feel justified in doing so. Now, I was really sitting with that the whole time as I went through most of my night and before I committed to doing so. It's not like I felt bad, but I was like, do I really want to be that petty and do that to this person because of their failure to communicate properly with me? Something as simple as something came up. Can you just give me 5 minutes and I'll be right back, I promise. Even then still, I'd give 5 stars. I'd give the tip. It's the holidays literally next week. Why be a crab? Why be cheap, right? So it took me a while, as I'm stressing right now. I did that, and the deed is done. I went one step above and beyond that too, though. And that I don't regret, because then I thought 2 things. What I do for work in the health insurance industry is I got to deal with complaints from members that they file against, we're involved too. No health plan is perfect. But also they complain about the providers, the hospitals they've been to, et cetera, et cetera. God forbid you ever go above and beyond or try to do more than you have to, be nice, to help them out. Especially if, maybe you feel bad, maybe you feel like someone puts in the effort on my end to reach out to somebody or try to help them out a little bit, maybe something changes. Of course it won't, because it's you, one person, versus a whole corporation. I'm not saying they're evil, but it's like I can't really overthrow the system no matter how much I want to and or try. And I'm not going to go against it because at the end of the day, I work for them. They employ me. I've been with them now for, it'll be close to 13 years in March. So I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot at the expense of I feel so bad for you, I'm going to quit, so I'm going to fucking stand up against the man and shit. No, I got to comply too, because, even if I took a stand, who's going to stand with me and help me pay my rent, my bills afterwards, right? But there have been times I've tried to help out some members, and these members you give them an inch, they take a mile. The old saying, right? You can't do what you never promised to do. I never promised nothing. I let them know that by over the phone, in writing an email or a letter. Basically, in a nutshell, let me see what I can do. No promises, no guarantees, but we'll make the effort since no one else did, or I'm going to try to see if maybe we'll get this, we'll let one slip through the goalpost. I don't know, right? It's already been more than a handful of times where these members take it personal. And then they want to file a complaint against me for helping them out, trying to help them out. Never saying I will, I swear to God, on the life of my kids. I don't have any, but as soon as they're born, I'm going to put it on their fucking life. As soon as they come out of my wife's fucking pussy, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to get this resolved, whatever. No, never did that. But to take it so personal, so to heart, over the stupidest shit sometimes. They filed complaints afterwards against me, or they brought me up in other complaints that went above and beyond the company, sometimes at the state level, and I'm mentioned like I did something bad. Motherfucker, I'm the only one that gave a shit about you enough to try to bring something up to someone else's attention that maybe could have gotten something resolved and or done for you. Go the extra mile, they say, right? It's not worth it. I learned the hard way. Not because I'm a sucker or I'm that stupid. I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. Not so much to be a good human being or get back to my fellow mankind, womankind, whatever, but more so like, you know what? I have a little bit of time. I know this person. Maybe I could reach out to them. Maybe something could get done. Ever does. They got the nerve to complain against me. It's not like I let that slide. But also, thank God, I have a cool enough manager and supervisor where they're like, you know what? You don't need to be doing all that. You did. I get where you're coming from. So you've probably been through it too. Prior experience, right? But just don't do that again, pretty much. And I learned. I learned from a long time ago. Once in a while, I fucking maybe like get the courage enough to be like, let me forget and try it all over again. Have it just blow up in my face all over again, right? But I know. It just sucks when it happens, right? You go in with good intentions, it blows up in your face. But at least I had the courtesy to tell them, I'm going to try, but I'm not promising you shit. Not in that language, of course. I got to be formal when I address them in writing and or over the phone. Let me give it a try. I'm not promising you a thing, but let's see what happens. You never know. Because I've had cases like that before in the past where put a little bit of effort in, something changes, something happens, they get a positive outcome. All right, who sent the fucking dirty message? Alex _ the wolf -H5Y, you sent a dirty message, you took it back. I'm on to you. I'm kidding, of course. You're good. But remembering that, number one, I got fucking hung on the cross for good intentions. But then again, they say to that old saying, what is it? The most direct road to hell was paved in good intentions or something like that, which, believe me, I've been knowing that for the longest time. My mother was a living example of that shit. Well, we're not going to talk about that tonight. Maybe some other time. After the holidays, too, But second, of all things, 50 Cent now, this week, has become the go-to meme and or the role model to follow because of how petty the man has proven to be over time. So, I like his music. I like his older stuff. As he got more famous and more like mainstream and shit, then, not for me anymore like that. I miss the early mixtape stuff, How to Rob and all the shit before that, right? Before he got really mega famous, like before In the Club, basically, right? I guess now people are really wanting to take after how petty he is. And let's be honest, the older you get, the more you realize, the more you miss out on, the more you, I don't know, You willingly cut yourself off from opportunities that could be yours for the sake of, let me not be selfish, let me not be a dick, let me not be all about me. I think as you get older, you finally realize, like I have to over time, that you first and you only, basically, because no one's going to give a shit about you more than you will about yourself. That is the sad truth. It's not like I don't want to ever do anything nice for anybody again, or I can't help somebody just because it's against my philosophy entirely. But and I don't want to be petty either, though. That's the thing. I don't want to like ruin someone's life or go out of my way to be an absolute dick or an asshole because I can be and I have been and I don't want to be because I know that ain't like default mode for me at all. I swear to God, I'm a good guy. I try to be at least. But because sometimes you have like that internal conflict of I could be an asshole, but is it too much in this case if I do this? Or am I too petty if I do that kind of thing? You get confused. And then you start to realize maybe I wasted so much time on just thinking about what I should do versus what I could do and just get it over with, basically, right? I rather beg for your forgiveness than for your permission, basically, which has been something I've taken on as of late. Not as of late, but more so like over the last couple of years. And again, it's never like I've been a sucker. I've just done everything. I've been like a welcome mat for people to walk over like that either. But it's more so like there's also a story for another time, basically. Like never meet your heroes because they'll probably let you down for the most part. Some have been cool, but I did have an experience where I worked with somebody who I looked up to a lot, and it turned out to be something that I don't know, my work wasn't good enough for them, or they didn't like me, but they did like my work, so they kept me on for as long as they could for the sake of working with them, but, keeping me at a distance. I don't know, it was weird. It was weird. Worse, it was a free gig, but whatever. Another story for another time. 50, I guess, 50 Cent is the embodiment of petty at this point with the whole Diddy documentary, which I've still yet to watch. I will get to this weekend. Just there's so much to catch up to, and I'm watching Sopranos again for like this will be my fourth watch, start to finish. But I'm watching it now with with my fiance, so it's her first time, and she's been loving it. So we're finally like halfway through season 6. What part did we make it up to? Spoilers in case you haven't ever watched The Sopranos, you've been meaning to, but you've had like 20 something years to get to it, so what the fuck? What did we just watch the other day in season 6? Oh yeah, Johnny Sack just died. That's the part we're up to right now. So we made it up to that point that far. Great show as always, no question there. But 50 has been very petty enough to make this fucking doc, this Diddy doc. And I got petty. I tapped into my pettiness again. And I actually went above and beyond to prove my pettiness of the situation at hand, because it wasn't like I was so steaming, piping hot, pissed off. It was more so like, you know what? Let me just file a complaint. Because the offense wasn't so bad, but he did waste my time with no explanation whatsoever. He did say, oh, sorry, my friend, sorry, whatever, drop off something that I couldn't understand yet anyways. But you could have said that to me before you drove off with someone else in the vehicle that wasn't me and had the app running like it was me in the vehicle till you caught it at least and tried to do the right thing after the fact. I still don't know what the fuck happened. I still don't understand how you drive off with a whole nother person in the back seat that is not me. As you can see clearly in my profile picture on the app, you should be able to match that pic up with me to know I should be inside in the back seat going where I gotta go to, back home in this case, but it's not me. And I'm waving at the car. And I'm locking eyes with the person in the back seat that isn't me. And they're too stupid to fucking tap the driver or let them know. Or I don't know if they were in on it. I don't fucking know what was going on. That's the thing. Because God forbid then the app is running the whole time. They make a whole trip and then I get charged for that. But meanwhile, I didn't take the trip. I didn't get taken anywhere. That was my initial fear. I know it's like over $11. That's fucking nothing. I get it. But still, the principle is, why the fuck would you do that to me? I don't know if it's like a new scam or something, like you stand outside, you wait for a vehicle, but then, they swoop in and put someone else in the back seat. They make it look like, oh, well, this person did take the trip. They're fucking lying if they say they didn't otherwise. I don't know what the fuck's going on. No explanation, no proper apology, no nothing besides sorry, drop off, sorry. Fuck them. So I filed a complaint. I had to log into Uber via Google Chrome into my account and filed a complaint. And I did explain in detail what exactly happened because, of course, by default, they seem to have these like very typical scenarios as far as complaints are concerned, or issues to bring up to them in the form of a complaint. But I wrote it out and I basically retold the story of like, I was there, I was outside. I got outside like in 30 seconds of him arriving. I'm approaching the car. I'm like this far away from the door handle, like my finger to the lens, to open the door for me to get inside. There's someone already inside. That someone pays me no mind. They don't tell the driver, hey, sir, you got the wrong person in here some way, somehow. So can I get out and let this person get into the Uber they ordered? Peel off, only to come back afterwards and be like, sorry. No explanation because I speak in no English. Sorry, whatever, right? It's the principle of it all. So I filed a complaint. I put in detail what happened after the fact too. Okay, it's done with. But only because I've been through it too. I've had complaints filed against me when I meant nothing but the best of intentions, so was that person. But then they want to file a complaint against me because I didn't deliver on the goods of what they hoped. And I made clear to them, I will see what I can do. No promises, no guarantees, because I'm not going to bullshit you or drag you by the dick in the effort of trying to make you come. That's not my job. That's on you to do so. I'll see what I can do, but it couldn't get done. And then what happens? I get a complaint filed against me afterwards. That's bullshit. So I have a right, at least for this one time, to be petty. I do feel just the tiniest bit of bad about having done so. But it's been a while since I let a lot of shit slide and haven't done anything about it directly. Not because I'm a pussy, not because I'm a pushover, but it's more like I don't want to waste my time doing that. I'd rather not. I'd rather not invest my time into doing shit like that. But tonight merited that because the weather, had it not been so just razor blade in my face, the wind is cutting like that cold. And then my wife on top of that is texting me to see where the fuck I am. Not like, demanding to know where I am right now because she thinks I'm with someone else, but she gets worried like that. And then she starts, are you okay? Are you not dead? Reply why to make sure you're not dead or a zombie at least. Or if you are, let me know so I know how to fucking prepare for a zombie, dinner at home. I don't need that hassle. I don't need that. So that's why I try to get home when I say I'm going to get home or at least close enough to it. So she don't start to worry and or panic. She's like me. She bites her nails. And I know, bad habit, but she does that a lot, especially when she gets anxious and or nervous, especially now since she's a full-time student trying to get this graduate program done with. She's chewing them things down to the fucking cuticle, pretty much. I never get that bad. I just get a little like, sometimes with work, it gets to be a lot, then, whatever, right? As long as I don't scratch my balls before I bite my nails. I did that once by mistake, and that should have been enough for me to learn to stop biting my nails, but I did it anyway, and I didn't learn since. But at least I knew enough to and then if I did, wash my hands, and then later on, at least, and then, bad habits. They're hard to kill, they're hard to die. They refuse to leave you, especially if you let them grow like that. Thank God it's the only really bad habit I got like that. But yeah, there was that. That's the whole Uber ordeal. Again, if you feel like doing so now live and or later on if you watch this after the fact too, please. That's why I got a pin in the comment right there. Feel free to drop it in the comments. Feel free to let me know after the fact too. I don't know if you can take any part of this and clip it and or reply to it like that and just tell your side of the story. Not your side, but I mean your story, your own Uber and or Lyft and or whatever the fuck, like horror story or ordeal that might have like been an inconvenience to you via Uber or Lyft. I'd love to know. I'd love to see if we can touch base. If maybe I'm like, I wouldn't say if I took it too far, but more so like, you could have gotten over that too, pay the tip and give them a low rating or a low rating, no tip. I don't know. But I just feel like my time was wasted with no justifiable cause. Maybe it was according to him, but at least let me know why. Tell me why, tell me why. I gotta fucking wait. And if you tell me and it makes sense, I'm human. I could totally understand. I'll wait. No harm done. And you would have gotten the tip and you would have gotten 5 stars by default. And that's it. But then I don't pick you as like a favorite driver or there's a thing now in Lyft and or Uber, I think, maybe both, where you can be like, did you enjoy this rider? Pause. Pick them, let them know you like them enough so that if they're nearby, they can pick you up again, kind of thing, right? Okay, so Alex underscore the wolf dash H5Y. Bye, I have to go live. Okay. I'm assuming you mean you gotta go now. Bye, see you tomorrow. Happy Merry Christmas. Happy Merry Christmas to you. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, whichever one's applicable to you. Alex, the wolf, maybe you're gonna go howl the moon. If that is the thing you do, then, much respect. Ow to you, right? But happy Merry Christmas, Merry Happy Christmas. All that good shit. Whatever applies to you holiday-wise out there, to you. Happy Merry Holidays, Kwanzaa, whatever the fuck else. I don't even know. I don't believe in nothing, so I don't know what really applies to me besides the fact that you got a fiance, you got a wife, of course. You got to get him something for Christmas. We've been together for so long, too. It's like, it's an unspoken language of sorts. You got to get him something. But now, worse for me. We're heading back down to New York. We're going to be with the in-laws. Well, the in-law, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law passed earlier this year. We're going to be with them in Brooklyn. That's going to be cool. I haven't been back in NYC at least since like the summertime. That's when I moved up here. So, it'll be cool. It'll be cool to be there for a little bit at least, a little, fraction, smidge at a time. So, we'll be there. What was I going to say? Oh, right. The thing is now I got to buy mom-in-law a gift. I got to buy her sister a gift. I got to buy her sister's kids a gift each. I got to get my brother-in-law to be, not yet, but still he's a nice enough guy, a gift. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe since we're all Russian, maybe I'll just get him a bunch of liquor. Like one good bottle of something. Obviously not for the kids. I'm not saying that. I'm not feeding the stereotypes. I'm saying for the parents. They got to be the ones to deal with the kids, the little brats. I don't want to say brats because, niece and nephew, it's cool. We don't have kids of our own yet, so at least we got a niece and nephew to like spoil and or entertain like they were our own. But not quite yet, right? Also, excuse me. Also just got done. I had to pause it for a little bit, had to, commit to other duties in the bathroom. I had to pause the fight a little bit. The Jake Paul, Jake Paul. I got it right this time. The Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight, and it was a good fight. I mean, of course, the guy's not gonna go all out with full on knockout power, even though he has lost. And I did watch that. I think his first loss, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know boxing like that, but I watched that fight, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz, which was crazy because I knew of Anthony Joshua prior to that, impressive build, big guy, British, so the accent is like kind of cool. He's an odds-on favorite, but then you look at Andy Ruiz during that fight, and it was like, you know what? I'm no fight expert, by the way. I don't know nothing about that. Andy Ruiz looks like I don't know his name. I learned his name after the fact, like a lot of us did. Never mind, I'm back. Well, welcome back, Alex the Wolf. I guess you got done howling at the moon since you're the wolf, of course. I'm kidding, of course. But when I saw him at that first time around, before even touching gloves and shit, when I saw Andy Ruiz, I had a gut feeling because I saw that big ass gut he got in the ring, like as built, as much of a statue, as ideal of a boxer that Anthony Joshua looks like. I think this guy Andy Ruiz got it as far as he's gonna win, and he'll win by knockout. At the time, that fight, I'm watching with a friend. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You don't know fucking nothing. You don't know boxing either. You don't know nothing." But he's like one of those assholes that like he works out all the time. He's got muscles and shit. He thinks like that makes him automatically like, king of fighters or something like that, right? Like, well, you don't know nothing when you talk about that fat is gonna get dropped. Blah, 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 blah. Look at the other guy. Blah, 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 blah. Right? It's like, all right, just fucking watch. Let's just see. He looks good to fucking Anthony Joshua. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying this fat guy, Andy Ruiz, when we learned his name after the fact and he got famous for it, he looks like he can fucking punch. He looks like he's gonna take him out if he can get one on him. And he did. And he won that fight. So fast forward now to this Anthony Joshua fight versus Jake Paul. It wasn't like I was putting money down. I probably should have because I had a feeling that Anthony Joshua, I mean to say, yeah, is going to win the fight. And he did. I should have put money down on it. He did. Took him 6 rounds. It was the 3rd knockdown. And he won that way. Jake Paul? Yeah, Jake Paul lost. As he should have, like, so many fights ago. But, of course, rigged or opponents handpicked that probably had no chance. And, of course, the whole scandal of, Mike Tyson really pulling his punches and or the thing of him like biting his gloves to like stop himself from like killing, if possible, Jake Paul, which I think it would have been possible. Obviously, of course, if we would have had like in his prime Mike Tyson, early 90s Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, shit like that, right? Wait, he lost against Buster Douglas, didn't he? Oh, I can't remember shit. I should know that because I did like Mike when I was younger. Who did they lose against? Was it Buster Douglas? Yeah, well, you know what I mean. When Mike in his prime, that kind of thing, right? Who was stopping him? Who was fucking with him, right? We would have gotten that Mike against Jake Paul. Jake Paul would cease to exist as we speak right now. He would have been dead in the ring. We got the much after the fact Mike Tyson, which imposing still, yeah, fast, yes. Scary and almost 60 years old, yes, still absolutely. But I would buy into the theory and or the thought that the fight was rigged enough where Tyson was pulling his punches and would have to physically remind himself to stop short of like caving his head in, which I'm sure he still had the capability of doing despite being older and slower and not as nimble and or, that kind of fast as he was when he was younger. But whatever, I digress. Fight was good. I'm surprised it went 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua, which would lead to be the main thought being, you know what, maybe it was rigged to an extent to go at least that long. 6 rounds, make something worthwhile out of it instead of like walk up to Jake Paul, boom, one left, one right, and that's it. He's going home, right? That much richer and, the guy that finally knocked out the big mouth, that is Jake Paul. Who's Jake Paul? That's Logan Paul's brother. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, they're bros. I think it was Logan Paul that got his start on YouTube, doing all those pranks and like those kind of pranks and things that are funny to like white folks only. No offense if you happen to be white, Alex the Wolf. I'm just saying, like, I'm not a fan of either or. I do respect Jake Paul enough at least to like put these events together for Netflix and getting these fighters paid as they are, especially the women too. But he's basically a YouTuber. I forget if Jake Paul's a YouTuber too. I know Logan is, but that's how he got his start. YouTuber that turned boxer and boxes people that really shouldn't be boxing because they're too old or like out of shape or whatever. But at least they get paid very well to fight this guy. And now finally he lost for the first time. This guy, this big mouth, which always talks a lot of shit, but puts together events that, as much as people want to talk shit about Jake Paul, they go to the fight, they buy their tickets to fight a fight, and if they got Netflix, most likely They were watching the fight, as I did too. Uh, so yeah, it was entertaining, but the surprise of the night, and I'm probably gonna end it on this, is during the fight, right before they get into Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Surprise announcement. Oh, it's Dave Chappelle. Oh, nice. I'm a Dave Chappelle fan. This is cool. What's up? He's gonna like maybe do a little 2-3 minutes about the fight, about Jake Paul at their expense, make some jokes. I'd love it if Dave Chappelle roasted me or something, or made fun of me for like 3-4 minutes leading into my like main event boxing fight. Why not? Probably got paid for it too, as he should be, as he rightfully deserves. But no, he announces right after the fight, surprise dropping a brand new special on Netflix right after the fight, which I would have watched right now if I didn't already have in mind to go live right now. So, yeah, it's already late. I'm probably not going to stay up to watch it tonight. I'm probably going to watch it uh, some point in time tomorrow. It's like an hour and 15. I like Chappelle. I'm debating whether I'll watch it for the sake of doing a review of it. Not live, obviously, because they'll ding you if you play anything copyrighted that's not yours, basically. I've gone through that on TikTok, so we're not going to do that. But in case no one knows out there, if you're watching live or watching it back after the fact, this whole thing I'm doing right now, I do 2 podcasts, ideally a week. One called AhhFuGGiT, which is my main podcast, just talking shit, random topics, bitching for the most part, like we're doing right now. And or sharing things, but right now it's just like, Yap Break Radio. That's what it is. And then the other podcast I do is a movie/TV show review podcast called Who This Been Watching. Also weekly basis. The last episode I dropped, I got a couple that are ready to go up over the weekend, if not Monday. The last one I dropped was the 35th anniversary review of Edward Scissorhands, which I did enjoy more than I would have expected, since it was the first time I actually sat down and watched it from start to finish. So that was fun to do. I'm thinking whether maybe I'll review this new stand-up special from Dave Chappelle for the sake of having, more content to put up. And also, again, I like Chappelle. I met him a couple times. He's been really nice in person, cool dude. And yeah, I'm sure the special is funny. I know I watched the first Netflix special he did, but I got to catch up on the other ones he did since, and also this brand new one he just dropped. Alex the Wolf. Bye, I'm going. See you later, dude. Have a great night. You too, man. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging around, sticking through thick and thin with me, of course. This was a rather thick live. Very long, extensive live, but I appreciate you tuning in. And shouts again to Alex the Wolf. Definitely catch you on Sunday. Sunday, if not 9 o'clock, most likely 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be here. And I hope that you'll be here too, as long as everyone else that's been here live too as well, now, after the fact, whatever, you're here live also. I appreciate it. But yeah, let's see. Maybe later on today, again, I'll watch that shit. Dave Chappelle thing, review it. I don't know. If I do, it'll probably be short because it's hard to like, for me at least, my opinion. And I promise I'll leave on this. So, bye again, Alex the Wolf. Have a good night. Be safe. And happy Merry Christmas if we don't talk before that. Comedy specials at least are hard to review because it's like, I want to almost react to every joke, but then I'm afraid I'll make the episode like twice as long as the special itself if I go joke by joke by joke by joke. And I'm no comedy expert, I'm no stand-up comic, I'm not saying that. I really love and appreciate comedy. For me, comedy podcast, stand-up specials, sitcoms, whatever. That's like my therapy. The cheap alternative version to therapy, which otherwise, copay, deductible, all that shit applicable. Believe me, I know since I work in health insurance how much that can add up to. But yeah, I like comedy. So, but it is hard to like really review it for the sake of my opinion of this was this in the terms of comedy, right? Because again, you like what you like, I like what I like, tomato, tomato, right? No harsh judgment on that end. You're not wrong for liking what you like, even though I may not like it, and vice versa, right? That's how it works. So I may, just off the, maybe I'll pick like my 5 favorite jokes from the special, something like that. If you have suggestions, if you have an idea how I can approach it, instead, what you'd rather see, leave it in the comments. You know, at Who This Is One is not just here for YouTube. At Who This Is One is Instagram, TikTok. It's the same tag. You plug it in whatever social media you got. I'm there too, except Snapchat. Snapchat is a whole cesspool, is a whole thing, is a whole. Let me just leave it at the fact that I got DMs, me, unsolicited ass DMs. Now listen, if they came from women showing me certain body parts that I didn't necessarily say, hey, send me a new DM or else, and they just did it, maybe I wouldn't be too mad. I'd be mad if they were ugly, but whatever. I was getting it from guys. So I had to get off Snapchat. Completely off, done, so no thanks. That chapter of my life, as far as the Snapchat chapter, is done, closed, dead, and gone. Under lock and key, and I threw that lock and key together down to sink at the bottom of the ocean. Never dealing with Snapchat ever again. I don't care if the baddest bitch gives me a free pass to watch her stories for the rest of my life till I die, but I gotta log into Snapchat again. No, I'm not doing it. Never ever again. No thanks. Excuse me. But on that note, oh yeah, and also I forgot I swear to God, last thing for tonight. Funny enough, I did say it already, right? In case you didn't check Twitter or nothing like that, Jake Paul lost. That was the whole selling point of the fight, which I had a feeling he would lose. So he did. 6th round, 3rd knockdown of the fight, so the ref just stepped in and called it, and the guy may even have a broken jaw, which is like, well, you bit off more than you could chew. You ate all that you talked all that shit, now you gotta eat it with a broken jaw. So, irony in that, right? And the guy still gets paid on top of that very heavily, to my understanding, Anthony Joshua. And probably more now than what they agreed on since he won the fight. And there's no walking back that W, right? But the funny thing was, at least, hey, welcome back, Alex the Wolf. It's been a whole day since the last time I saw you. So hello again. The funny thing was, Jake Paul comes out, decked out. I already knew what was coming. And I probably should have been on that too, and I would have won that bet. Lovely. A little pre-interview leading into the fight itself, the main event. He's got an all-red shirt with yellow lettering in the stylings of Hulk Hogan. Rest in peace or piss, whatever you believe in, as far as Hulk Hogan's concerned. I'm not going to comment on that. But he's got that going on, and I'm like, in my mind, I should put money down on this, but he's going to come out the real American. He did, kinda. Oh, God, what a fucking bait and switch. He got us, motherfucker. Because then, right before the fight itself, when they're about to do the walkout, the introductions, he's there backstage with his brother, with his people and shit. He's got this really nice looking, but I would never buy it, let alone wear it in real life, all red leather jacket with Hulkamania on the front in yellow and Jake Paul in the back with diamond studs on it, right? They're rich. They can afford legit diamonds on that, right? Decked out in that shit, yellow, red and yellow, all that. Comes out the real American. I am a real American first part, right? You think they're going to go in cheesy. A lot of fans are going to be like, oh, Hulk Hogan, nice, rest in peace, brother. And then the other half are going to be like, oh, Hulk Hogan, that racist fuck. Rest in piss, motherfucker, goddamn, right? And it would have been great to divide the crowd like that. I think genius marketing, the Pauls, Logan Paul and Jake Paul, are like the male Kardashians. No discernible talent. They just live off the scandal and or knowing how to divide the crowd or get under people's skin enough where they're like, I hate these motherfuckers, but I gotta see what the fuck they're doing now that's stupid and that I would never do, so I'm gonna live it through them, right? That's what it boils down to with them. Respect due. I'm guilty. I used to watch the Keeping Up with the Kardashians because Kim was so fucking beautiful before she had all the work done on her ass, her face, every fucking body part that you can imagine. That hasn't fallen off a person yet. She's had so much work done. God, she was fucking beautiful when she was like au natural looking. Or is she Albanian? No. Armenian as fuck, right? Beautiful girl. I'm guilty of watching the Kardashians, but even that show got too stupid for me to watch anymore because it's brain rot. Her, the sisters, the other sisters that are like half sisters, whatever, brain rot out of all of them. And the worst one out of all of them is the what's the name of the big one that's like allegedly OJ's daughter? Chloe? Yeah, Chloe. Because Courtney is the older, shorter, but better looking one that still looks Armenian and very attractive. But she had kids early with the dickhead husband, Scott. I'm ashamed I know that. Chloe's the big one, but she's the one that loves going fuckity fuckity fuck 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 fuck. And because she says fuck every minute, 2 minutes possible, she's funny in her mind, right? That's comedy to her, but whatever. The Pauls are like that too. But point being, right? So Jake Paul comes out, what we think is going to be the I Am a Real American theme via Hulk Hogan, right? The first part plays up until fight for your right, fight for your life. And then you know the bam, 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 it's about to drop in, right? And it should sound really lovely acoustically speaking, because right, blaring through the stadium speakers and shit in Miami and all that, the people are gonna be like, they should know this song. A majority of them, you know. Most of the crowd might be young enough to be like they know the Pauls, but they have no idea what the fuck the song playing is or who it belongs to. But they cut it, and then right after that part plays, it's Tekashi 6ix9ine of all people. Whatever song he had that went viral, that's like that got used in TikToks and all that shit. Icky with the sticky, oy, oy. This is the first time ever I really did the fucking Grandpa Simpson shit, the meme where he's like shaking his fist at the cloud. It was like, this son of a bitch, this motherfucker. Not like I was looking forward to hearing the theme like that. It was an unexpected surprise. And it would have been cool to see him walking out of all things to the Hulk Hogan theme since he just passed in, what was it, August? Something like that. I know it was like this year, summertime, something like that. But he places that with, of all things, of all beings, Tekashi 6ix9ine, which is, since I love hip hop, he is brain, no, he's not even brain rot, he's cancer. He's cancer in the human form, Tekashi 6ix9ine. His music and or that's all aside from, you know, the being a rat, being a fucking I'd say he's definitely an industry plant. And getting all these tattoos on his face and his body for no fucking reason he's gonna regret. Nah, he's too stupid to even know what regret is, so he's just doing it for the gimmick. And who knows when his fame will end, hopefully soon. And I don't wish anything like bad on him, like to come all of a sudden, but it's more like I would hope his fame would reside pretty soon, just because it's nonsensical shit he does and or raps about, let alone. But then he comes out to rap his way down the aisle with Jake Paul, get him into the ring. All that for the man to lose. Oh, yeah. When I heard that, when I saw that, it was just like, shake my head. This Jake Paul really did turn out to be an asshole. And it's not like I would have ever defended him even up to that point. But I especially won't after this shit, because it's like, wait a second, come on. You really could have let Hulk Hogan's theme song rock that whole time, walking down the aisle, time it out just right, to where they say your name, the theme is playing, and then you live up to the glamour of being a real American, right? That would have been fine. People would have been pissed off, like, oh, how could you honor that racist? He's dead for a reason, kind of thing, right? And then half the crowd was like, yeah, it's a real fucking song for once. Yay, we want Jake Paul to win for once because he used Hulk Hogan's real American theme song, right? I don't think there was any win in that argument, but it would have been fun to see that. But of course, he faked this out and he pulled out the Tekashi 6ix9ine, which I think was a little too over the top as far as trying to piss people off like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm also tired as fuck and I don't know what I'm saying no more. But I will end on that note. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm not going to watch the Dave Chappelle thing right now. I'm going to watch it like later on today. I got a couple of things to record for a couple episodes next week. Christmas, of course. Content's got to be put up and edited and done in time so I can enjoy my time off on Christmas. And I hope all you watching out there live and or after the fact will enjoy your Christmas. and their Hanukkahs or your Kwanzaa's as well too. If you're cooking like me for Christmas, I wish you the best especially, and I hope in exchange you get a nice big fat gift or a couple of gifts for your time and your effort and your sweat pouring over the food you're making for Christmas. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day food. Where's the thanks in that? No, that's your gift. That's your gift this year to you. Thank you for cooking. Where's the rest of it? No, thanks. Be humble. Be thankful. You're being thanked for what you did, which is what you do the 364 days a year anyway, but now you're doing it for 365th, which is, of course, happy birthday, Santa, right? I know it's Jesus, but I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah, this is what it is. Hello again to Alex the Wolf. And goodbye on that note, because I swear to God, now I'm getting off right now. So, yeah, happy holidays, whatever, insert here applicable to you. Of course, anybody out there watching live and or watching after the fact, I appreciate you for sticking through that long. I will be doing these more often. These YouTube live things are fun, and there's actual engagement, interaction, which I appreciate. And shout outs especially tonight to Alex_the_Wolf for sticking in, sticking through, and being active and, doing your thing with it. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you as well. Watching, listening, whatever you've been doing, live, after the fact, whatever. It's all good. I appreciate you again. I'm Who This, at Who This Is One right here. The channel on the YouTube, that same tag, at Who This Is One. You can drop that into any of the social media platforms you got. That's the same tag for me over there too. Again, except Snapchat, as I explained already, Snapchat got too naughty for me. And unsolicited kind of naughty for me. Yeah, I should be back on Sunday. Whatever date that is, Sunday. I'm going to shoot for like 9 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, check me out on Sunday. I'll be back then, if anything. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, right. If you're not subbed already by any chance, please feel free to sub to the channel. I really appreciate you if you do so. That'll be like a nice little gift for me, if anything, And what I give in return to you is me bitching and moaning and complaining. And hopefully you'll find something of the many things I complain about to agree with, to co-sign, if anything, right? Or you can tell me in the comments too, you like, you dislike, whatever the fuck. You agree, you don't, whatever, it's all right. Free world, still under democratic reign, so you can have an opinion, and it can be different from mine. And I don't have to like it, but I can respect it enough to be like, hey, let's keep yapping about it. I appreciate it. And also, same tag, of course, on the social media platforms if you're choosing, at Who This Is One. Next week, I will be having a bunch of videos up, as well as, just shorts, long-form videos as well, and a couple of lives too. So maybe I'll do a live for Christmas Eve, who knows, or Christmas Day, time permitting, who knows. Let's see what gets done, if anything, right? Especially if I get some goddamn gifts. Maybe I'll share them. Maybe I'll unbox them. Oh, yeah, I do got to do actually tomorrow or later today, I actually got to do an unboxing video, some shit I got in the mail to like just, maybe some shorts, do that, all that shit, Content. It never ends. Just like the bills, just like the rent. Content. This content thing. I have fun doing it though. So, let's make it fun always. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Have a good night or a good morning, whatever time it is for you and wherever you're located, of course. Let me not assume it's a good night. A good insert here, wherever you're located at. Night, day, evening, afternoon, all that shit. Alex the Wolf, it's been nice talking to you and talking for you and on behalf of you, if you can relate to whatever I've been going through. I appreciate it. And you said you subscribed, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. Really do appreciate it. And again, I'm going to do my best to be on Sunday, 9 o'clock, if not perhaps 10 o'clock-ish or so, but no later than 10, I promise, I'll see you then. Thank you all so much, and we'll be in touch specifically on Sunday. Have a good one. Alex the Wolf and everybody else too, live or replay. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Have a good one. Stay safe.